Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palettes. I'm Aaron Loomis coming to you from the Drew Estate Studio. With me today is Seth Geis, and from the Pastania Studio, John McTavish. How you guys doing?
Power to the
I'm
people.
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to this.
It's gonna be a good review. I mean, we're doing our first batch for 2025, getting into the rhythm. It's gonna be good. We got end of year shit coming up soon. It's gonna be good times.
All right. So today we are talking about the Caldwell Long Live the Queen Maduro Queen's Crest. This is a Corona Gorda, 5.5 by 46. Comes out of the Tabacalero William Ventura factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrapper, Mexican San Andres. Binder,
Mm,
Seth's favorite from Indonesia. Filler, Dominican Republic and the United
mm.
States. Blended by Robert Caldwell. Price point is $14.20. Cigar was released in July of 2024. So with all that out of the way, Seth, what was your overall experience like with this cigar?
Listen, the cigar began. I'm still sorry. I'm thrown off by John still. So
I,
this is
t-
gonna be
I,
great.
t- I, I
I
threw
mean,
some elbows in the green room. I
it's
threw Seth
just,
off his game.
it's just, listen, the Indonesia did not make that much of an appearance for me on this cigar. So, rich earth, dark cocoa. There's some sweet spices, some pepper, leather, and tobacco. There's some dry wood, touches of coffee. I thought there was a lot going on with it. Medium, full strength and body. We delivered that in the first and second third. Final third shows some like coffee, bread, dark chocolate notes. There was a little bit more mineral, which took away from the blend. We can blame that on the Indonesian tobacco. Um, just still medium full strength and body. I had a really good burn. I had a really nice draw. I really actually I made note of it because you know I thought it smoked really well for Corona Gorda and it smoked slow. I had a good experience with that. John?
Yeah, first third for me had notes of creamy wood, nuts, a little bit of mild earth, which was actually kind of nice because sometimes I think on cigars you get a lot of really heavy earth in the post draw, and it's just really cloying the palate. And this is more of a accent note for the other flavors, which is good. A little bit of nuts settling in on the post draw as it settled in, some baking spices, so pleasant. Oh, and there was an interesting light tea note, which was subtle and not particularly drawing the palate, which I appreciate. Baking spices did hit medium, about the halfway point, and there was some astringency on the finish through the bottom half. So, it's a lot of flavor descriptors, but I don't think they ever really harmonized in a way that was particularly dynamic for me in the first third. And I think the second third was kind of more of the same: creamy dry wood, black tea, which a little more the tea was more defined in the second third than the first third. The first third I'd just say was tea, and I couldn't. I'm not a tea guy. Second third definitely black tea, and it was a medium strength. A little bit of earthy again, earthy spices accenting it, which was actually kind of nice with the tea. And then astringency came back at the halfway point. So kind of more of the same. And then last third, creamy tea, which I actually really enjoyed. And I kind of wish the cigar was more of that. That was a really interesting flavor profile. And then astringent wood on the finish and tobacco sweetness just kind of in and out of the profile at various points. Halfway point, the earth came back. Unfortunately, it came at medium strength. So at that point, it was kind of heavy in the palate. Um, Burn was flawless, but I didn't have the draw that June Seth had. My draw was pretty snug, which is unfortunate on a thinner ring gauge like this because I think it really affects the smoking performance. So I don't know if it affected the profile, the flavor profile, but it definitely made me have to work at the review, which is a bit of a drag. So that's a lot of words to say. Pretty average. Aaron, what about you?
For me, the cigar started with toasted oak, a mix of black pepper and baking spice, along with some rich earth. Baking spice dropped out a bit later, and the black pepper was very mellow. Then the second third saw some light cocoa powder join in. And the final third saw some wood bitterness join in. The cocoa powder departed. Um, just an average flavor profile throughout. Kind of focused around that toasted oak and earth. The first half inch was pretty good. But as that baking spice kind of dropped out and the pepper mellowed, it kind of lost that nice profile. So overall, just another fairly average Mexican San Andres wrap cigar that I wouldn't really see myself coming back to. So just kind of the theme for 2024 is how I have put it with this. So all right, let's get into the scores. We're going to start at the top with Seth at 6.1. I gave it a 5.5, and John gave it a 5.3. So Seth, how'd that 6.1 match up for you?
Listen, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Corona Gorda. I really like the San Andreas wrapper. I thought the Indonesian binder served its purpose of just holding the filler tobacco together and not being offensive, which is, what they always say, but little has no impact. And I like the combo. I like the filler blend. I think you could pick up on some of that U.S. tobacco, even though I don't know where it's from. It just sounds good saying that. And um,
America.
America. So I thought it was complex. I think I had a good strength and body level. It smoked well for Corona Gorda. I kind of looked at it as well compared with what was the Queen, the Sumatra offering or the Cameroon offering of the other ones, which
Oh,
kind
that
of
was that was nice.
see you and I are on.
We're on different. It's Dominican tobacco, man. We're on
It's
the opposite when it
this
comes
is
to
this is what
Dominican
happens. This is
cigars.
what happens when we get in the
This is what
DR.
happens.
So
That's what happens.
yeah, so that's where I'm at. John? No, who's next?
Yeah, I
Aaron?
mean,
Aaron.
yeah, 5.5. It matched up well. Average flavor profile throughout. Construction was pretty good. A little wavy burn, slightly snug draw, but no real big complaints there. But gets it right kind of that smack dab in the middle at 5.5. I dug that first half inch.
Mm.
Whatever was going on right then, that was it. And I just needed that for the rest of the cigar, but it was not to be. The queen let me down. So, yeah,
Oh, she's
not gonna
dead
come
now.
back to it.
So
All right, John, 5.3.
yeah, listen. It matches up well, and this has got to be the worst Caldwell cigar I've ever had. And I don't mean that in a because it sounds super negative, but what I really respect about Caldwell is, and this sounds the opposite spectrum. He's one of the first guys that made me really stand up and appreciate Dominican tobacco and Dominican blending, because he would do stuff in a way that made me so appreciate Dominican tobacco that no one else is doing, because it was interesting. It had a lot of unique characteristics to it. It was balanced. And I've loved a lot of the cigars he's made. And so when I saw this on a review list, I was like, oh man, like finally we're going to break up some of the monotony. And then I saw Mexican San Andreas, and like Aaron said, good lord, 2024 with Mexican San Andreas, it's just not a good. It's not been a well performing wrapper, and this cigar represents that. It was just an unfortunately boring, flat experience, and that is just not words I would normally have to choose of a Caldwell blend. So disappointed.
All right. I know Seth has some final thoughts. So, what do you guys think? That John's comments.
I, listen, I've been going through the entire Caldwell portfolio trying to
Probably the
make it a
lowest
little.
scoring
Find
one from John.
find a
No,
worse
no, I'm not.
Caldwell
No, I mean, I'm sure
in the
that.
comments, please.
Listen, I don't know if I'd say it's the worst. I think that
The worst.
he's I think this is better than Long Live like some of the Long Live the Kings.
Absolutely fucking. You are out
Not
of
the
your
original, not the original
mind.
ones, the Maduro ones.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like,
I
if you think the originals were bad, you are out of your mind,
no,
because those
I
were
think I
spectacular.
think the original Long Live the Kings were fantastic. I think
Yeah.
this was see, and you and I are different than see, I wasn't crazy about the Cameroon, right?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
No.
So it was
Which
one of
makes
those
sense
things.
because you don't like Cameroon and Dominican tobacco.
No, and I also think that it was like he was trying to do what Nicaragua has done with
Right.
Cameroon, but I just don't think I don't think he reached that level. I thought he was kind of like a lacking DR, but I think this was a really good. It was a stronger blend. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I don't know if gosh, I'd have to smoke more. I mean, I can't challenge that. So I mean,
But it's true. I mean, we have always,
yellow
Seth and
cake.
I
This is
have
better
always
than
been
yellow cake.
on we have always been on
You
the
really reached
opposite
these.
spectrum of Dominican tobacco. If Seth loves something, I'll be like 4.8. And if Seth fucking hates a Dominican release, like 4.1, that'll be like a 7.2 for me. And I don't know why that is, but yeah, when it comes to Dominican releases, we tend to be as far apart as possible.
Do you know?
I
I'll say this
mean,
about Caldwell though: is everything. He's really one of those. It's very Cuban in the sense that depending on the
Mm.
vitola, everything really changes.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's some Eastern standards, like that Churchill one. I was a huge fan of that Churchill
right.
Eastern standard, but I don't like a lot of the other
You didn't like
sizes.
any of
So
those. Yeah.
yeah, he really. he has stuff which just really delivers well in certain sizes, and I also just think that I don't know, he's got a pretty big palate, so he's kind of
he is for me. He is the Dion Giolito of Dominican tobacco, and I
hmm
I mean that in every way possible. Like for me, his palate has always been just fascinating, and what he can come up with Dominican tobacco, and so that's why I've always really enjoyed what he's put out. So yeah.
All right, wherever you catch this video, be sure to like and subscribe, but check out the full written review on the website, developmentpalace.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts. So iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.
Queens, queen, 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 queenie, queen, queens.